European leaders have vowed to attack America if America decides to move on with its threat of acquiring Greenland, an semi-autonomous land which is under the Danish government. European leaders say that if America decides to attack, use military force, because Donald Trump said if negotiation cannot go, America will take the land by force, that originally the land belongs to America, and that America needs the land for its national security. So members of European Union have said that they will actually, members of the European Union said they will react spontaneously. They will use, in fact, they have started deploying troops, preparing troops for deployment in Greenland. And Donald Trump has doubled down. Donald Trump said to the 8th of January 2026 that America is going to take Greenland, whether Europe like it or not, that American force cannot be attacked. So Greenland says, or that Danish government says that they will be the first to fire the shots before America wants to start asking questions. That America should know that they are not Venezuela, that they will stand, and NATO members have taken the side of the Danish government, that America cannot go around be bullying even an ally nation. Denmark is an ally nation, it's a member of NATO, and under no circumstances should a NATO member attack another NATO member. So, which means that if America decides to attack the Greenland, to take Greenland, they say they will react. But America, under Donald Trump, said they will not say that they will not be able, Europe cannot be able to fight them because they will crush the fight, they will crush the dissent. That Donald Trump has advised the European Union that if they know what is good for them, they should just stay put and allow America to do a thing. Watch the video.
All right, moving on. White House saying President Donald Trump is serious about acquiring Greenland. He is ready to pay or to use military force, but any such action may lead to a major rift with the allies and even lead to the breaking up of the NATO alliance. Trump insisting that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The melting Arctic ice has created new corridors around the world's biggest island. In 2024, in fact, it lost 2.5 million liters of fresh water per second. Russia and China have increased military activities nearby. The White House saying Trump is studying an offer to buy Greenland. Listen to this.
The president has been very open and clear with all of you and with the world that he views it in the best interest of the United States to deter Russian and Chinese aggression in the Arctic region. And so that's why his team is currently talking about what a potential purchase would look like.
Both Greenland and Denmark have made it clear the island is not for sale. But there is precedent here. The U.S. had bought what are now the U.S. Virgin Islands, remember, from Denmark in 1917 for $25 million in gold. In today's rates, it will be over $600 million. Denmark had initially resisted the deal, but agreed after the United States threatened force. After the Second World War, U.S. President Harry Truman had made his own offer to buy Greenland, but was rebuffed. Trump has repeatedly refused to rule out force to seize Greenland, infuriating allies Denmark and Europe. European leaders, including in France and Germany, in fact, have announced that they are working on a plan in the event the U.S. follows through on its threat.
On Greenland, allow me to be clear. Greenland belongs to its people. Nothing can be decided about Denmark and about Greenland without Denmark or without Greenland. They have the full support and solidarity of the European Union. Europe will remain a firm and unwavering champion of international law and multilateralism.
If any invasion or even a Venezuela-like operation takes place, Denmark's forces are duty-bound to retaliate. A 1952 Danish Royal Standing Order states that its forces must immediately engage the enemy without waiting for specific orders, even without a formal declaration of war. However, Denmark's military strength pales in comparison to the United States. The total strength of the Danish army is approximately 7,000 to 9,000 professional troops. In addition, the army has a number of reservists. It has just 30 fighter planes and no attack helicopters. It is a member state of NATO, which means members are bound to help it. If the US takes the invasion route, it may lead to the collapse of NATO. In such a case, one option could be Europe expelling US forces. Retired French general, in fact, saying that Europe does not have the means to go to war with America, but Europe may kick them out of key bases. US forces have been stationed in and deployed to Europe since the end of World War II. More than 40 US military bases spanning the continent. The bulk of bases concentrated in Central Europe, primarily in Germany, Italy, Poland, and the UK. Since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, the number of US troops in Europe has ranged between 75,000 to over 1 lakh. Washington already has a military presence in Greenland, in fact. The base there currently housing some 50 personnel. The US Secretary of State will be meeting the Danish officials next week to discuss Greenland. When asked whether US was willing to risk the NATO alliance by potentially moving ahead with a military option, Rubio did not directly answer, but stated that Trump had been talking about acquiring Greenland since his first term. And earlier, we spoke to Dr. Glenn Deason, Professor of International Relations at the University of Southeastern Norway, and we also spoke to Professor David Dunn, Professor of International Politics in the Department of Political Science and International Studies at the University of